It's been nearly 5 whole years since we have seen former WWE and NXT Women's Champion Paige wrestle a match. And on Friday, she announced that she will be leaving WWE when her contract expires next month. This is what she posted. Paige here. July 7th will be the last day with WWE. I'm so thankful and I appreciate the opportunities that the company has given me. I will always be appreciative of the company that took in an 18-year-old British pale emo girl that didn't look like your average diva, giving me the chance of a lifetime and making me feel like a superstar. I know after my neck injury took me out of in-ring status, it was pretty hard to keep me around for as long as you did, and for that I am thankful too. Thank you to the WWE Universe. You guys are the most passionate group of fans I've ever seen. Hope you continue to stay on this journey with me. I think the toughest part, weirdly enough, is having to let the Paige name go. But Soraya is a hell of a name. Kudos to my mum for that one. FYI, I am not saying I'll never be in the ring. That day will most certainly come again, wherever the return may be. Even though she hasn't wrestled in 5 years, she has remained under contract with them this entire time. I know some people didn't even realize that Paige was still with WWE, but she's been with them this whole time. On her Twitch stream, she said this. She said, if you don't renew the contract then, I don't think there's any non-compete clause. Because she was getting questions from all of her fans and her followers, so this is her responding to them. But she says when a contract expires, which is true, when a contract expires, there's no non-compete. The non-compete would be, if you try to quit or if they release you early, let's say you have, time left on your contract, there's going to be a period. Usually main roster, it's 90 days. NXT, it's 30 days. That doesn't apply, though, if the contract just lapses. She said, that's not what I was told on the phone, at least. We're having a normal conversation, and it's like, so, we're not going to renew your contract. I texted Vince. He texted back. Everybody was respectful about it. It's a bummer. They are keeping the door open. Both Vince and Johnny Ace said that they'll keep the door open, but that's usually what companies say. I do feel if I ever went back, it would make it more special. If WWE ever asked me to do something, it would be that much more special. There's nothing I can do. I wish I could stay longer. WWE doesn't want to re-sign me. It's not my decision. I don't want anybody to think it's my decision to walk away. So she's making it very clear this was not her call. This was a WWE call. Her last match was in December of 2017. It was a live event here in New York at the Nassau Coliseum. She teamed with Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. Remember, they were doing the whole Absolution thing at that time. They were taking on Mickie James, Sasha Banks, and Bayley. Sasha gave her a stiff-looking kick to the back of her neck, and Paige went down face first. And then she was struggling to get back up to her feet. You could see clearly something was wrong. The way that she was trying to get back up, and then she was very wobbly and she fell over. She looked like a baby deer trying to walk for the first time. And she's shaking her hands like she's trying to get feeling back into them. She said that she lost all feeling in her legs and arms, and she thought that she was going to be in a wheelchair for the rest of her life. She said it was the most terrifying experience of her life. She does not blame Sasha Banks for it. She said her neck was just not as strong as it used to be. She had a history of neck and spine issues even before that. She has scoliosis. She's talked about that. She mentioned that in the interview she did many years ago with Steve Austin. But as soon as she got kicked and that she had that feeling and she lost all of the feeling in her extremities, she knew right away her career was over. In the ring that night, she told Jamie Noble that night as they were tending to her, she knew it was over. She knew she was done. And they sent her to a specialist in Pittsburgh who told her that her spinal cord looked like the spinal cord of a person who was in a severe car crash. And he gave her 2 choices. Either you retire now, or you have another surgery and then retire. Either way, you were never going to be cleared to be in a WWE ring ever again. So, in that original statement that she put out on Friday, she was very thankful and very appreciative of WWE. I thought it was a very classy statement. On her Twitch, she was very laid back about everything. She wasn't angry. She was just answering questions from her fans. But there were a few moments you could tell she was not thrilled about the way it all went down. She said, that's what I don't like. I was sitting around for a long time. I was texting them back in November like, what's the deal? Do you guys want me to resign? I would rather get the ball rolling than wait until the last minute. That's the one thing I personally didn't like, the waiting around for no reason. They weren't using me to my full potential, that's for sure. I broke my neck twice for this company just to be let go. I still tried to fight to do something, and then to not be told until the last minute left me disappointed. Again, I understand their reasoning why they didn't want to renew the contract. They did try to find other things for her to do after she retired. It was only 4 months after the injury that she went out on TV to announce her retirement. It was in New Orleans, the same city where she debuted on Raw 4 years earlier when she beat AJ Lee to win the Divas title. She went out there and she made her announcement, and they made her the general manager of SmackDown for a while. And then later on, she managed the Kabuki Warriors until she had to leave to go have another surgery done on her neck. She had the gig on WWE Backstage for a while on FS1. She was, she was on her Twitch all the time. She's got a very lucrative Twitch channel. Last year, it leaked. For the 2-year period, from September of 2019 until September of last year, she made almost $500,000 on her Twitch. I was watching her Twitch stream yesterday to prepare for today's show, and every 5 seconds there was a new sub, there was someone gifting subs. Yeah, she cleans up very nicely on there. And I mentioned her managing the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane. She revealed something interesting on the Twitch stream yesterday. She said that there are things that she could have done for them, but she doesn't think they have much interest in anybody who isn't wrestling, physically wrestling in the ring for them. And she revealed that she offered to be the mouthpiece for Ronda Rousey. She went to them and said, I'll be the person who does the talking for Ronda. Which is hilarious because that implies what I've been outright saying now for months, and I said it again on Friday after her awful monotone promo on SmackDown, that Ronda Rousey's promos suck. Her delivery is awful. She could absolutely benefit from having somebody do the talking for her. Ronda Rousey has a great game face. Goes back to her days in judo and fighting and all that. She could burn a hole through you just with her stare, right? She does that very well. So if Ronda kept the talking to a minimum and let somebody else be her agent or, be her representative like what Paul Heyman is to Roman Reigns, or even in AEW, right? They just had Stokely Hathaway come in. He's now the publicist for Jade Cargill. Somebody like that who can do the talking and really talk her up. The way Heyman used to talk up Brock and all of his accomplishments every single week. And Ronda could just stand there with that mean fucking mug on her face, make that mean look. That would be the way to go. Maybe that would be better if she's a heel and not so much a babyface. WWE, they have a very particular thing they like out of their babyfaces. We see it now with Raquel Rodriguez. She comes out, she's smiling every week. Ronda Rousey comes out, she's smiling. She's not mean mugging the camera. She's got a big fat smile on her face. She said that's what Vince McMahon told her to do. When she came back, she wasn't smiling enough. So, as a babyface, that's just how they like it in WWE. But Paige was on the ball here with that assessment. She was probably thinking, now she wasn't bashing Ronda, but why else would she offer to be the mouthpiece for Ronda Rousey? If she knew that Ronda didn't need help, why even make the offer? Why not offer to be the mouthpiece for somebody else? She knows the same thing that everybody else does. Ronda's promos suck. Now, I don't know if Paige would have been the right person for that part. She wouldn't have been number one on my list. But you know what? If she was making the offer, you're already paying her. She's under contract. She wants to do something. Ronda could use the help. Why not? Can't be any worse than what we're already getting. I think they should have taken her up on that offer. But it's pretty clear from her statement that she intends to get back into the ring. She made that very clear at the very end of that initial statement. She wants to get back in the ring and intends to get back in the ring and wrestle at some point down the road. She was asked on Twitch if she's been cleared to wrestle. She said no, not yet. She also said that her neck feels so healthy, and she feels like she's the most healthy that she's been her entire career, and she feels like she can compete again. This girl comes from a wrestling family. She's been wrestling since she was 13 years old. It's a hard thing to be told when you're still as young as she is. Your career is over. That's a tough pill to swallow. Then she sees Daniel Bryan after his neck issues and his concussion issues. 3 years in retirement. Finally gets cleared. Finally finds that doctor who clears him. And I think he may have had more than one. But he finally gets cleared by WWE to make a big comeback a few years ago. She sees Edge 9 years away after spinal fusion surgery and spinal stenosis, back in the ring again. Of course she's going to want to get back in the ring also. Daniel Bryan said that he was going to go wrestle somewhere else when his contract was up if WWE didn't clear him. He would do interviews and say, about his future. Well, my contract is coming up soon. I don't know what I'm going to do, but if WWE doesn't clear me, I'll work Mexico, Japan. He was making it very clear, whether you want me to or not, I'm going to get back in the ring. Lo and behold, WWE cleared him to wrestle. Edge went to Vince McMahon a couple of summers ago. Actually, I think it was 3 summers ago. With the offer that Tony Khan presented to him. Tony Khan came to Edge and said, look, I'd love to bring you in to wrestle, but also be kind of like an agent or a producer. You can wrestle a few matches. And Edge thought out of loyalty that he owed it to Vince McMahon to at least go to him and say, look, I've been presented with this offer. And Vince McMahon told him, you're not going to AEW. Let's work something out. Lo and behold, WWE cleared Edge to come back and wrestle. What does that say about her neck as compared to theirs, that they would let her walk away rather than clear her to wrestle again? What must those x-rays look like? Makes you wonder. That's worrisome. But she wants to wrestle, and I think, look, if her doctors say that she can do it, she says right now she's not cleared. She says not yet. I don't know what that means. I don't know if the doctors have given her hope, a little more time, and maybe. I don't know if that's just her being optimistic and she's talked herself into the idea that, at some point I'll be able to do this again. If her doctors say that she can do it safely, even maybe with some limitations, then let her come back and have a match and be able to go out on her terms. Even with being retired for almost 5 years. I said she's been out of the ring now almost 5 years. In December it's going to be. This woman is still not even 30 years old. I feel like we've already been through 3 or 4 phases of Paige, of her life and her career. We had NXT Paige, we had main roster Paige, post-retirement Paige, Trainwreck Paige, when she was dating you-know-who, that whole toxic relationship. Thankfully, it looks like she's gotten herself cleaned up. It looks like she's in a much better place right now. All that, and she's not even 30 yet. If she can get back in the ring safely, let her try it once or twice and see how it goes. See how her body holds up. See how she feels after, and then you go from there. I think it's premature to start talking about Paige being all elite, even though I'm sure the memes are coming. Somebody asked her on the Twitch stream if she would go to AEW, and she said, sure, if the money's right. And then she laughed about it. But you know what? If she wants to wrestle in AEW and their doctors check her out and say it's okay, then she should have that chance. Now, if there isn't a single doctor that she can find who thinks it's a good idea for her to get back in a wrestling ring, then I think she should stay out of the ring. Her saying that she feels healthy doesn't mean that she is healthy. But if she can get cleared, then you know what? Go for it. It goes without saying that if she does come back, she'll be an instant star wherever she goes.